Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to start in 1 minute. Let's turn to page 3 in the book that looks like this. In the middle of the page, Ozi Vezimratia. Ozi Vezimratia. Vayehi Lishua. Ozi Vezimratia. We'll continue right below this with Hine Matov, how good it is that we are all here together. Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achyot Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achyot Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manayim Shevet Achyot Gam Yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. How good it is for all of us to be here together on this rainy night. Boy, we really need the rain. The temple garden was just like this. I saw it. It was like, when the rain was coming down. And here we are, warm and, well, a little warm, and dry, more importantly. And all of us who are here in the sanctuary, 5200 Old Mill Road, are connected to those who are joining us via live stream as one holy community tonight. We are here to bring in Shabbat, to leave the week that we have just been through, to leave it behind. let us take a moment for some reflection. And I'm going to ask you to think about two things, and then you're going to think about it, or wherever it goes. I want you first thing that you'll do is think about something that you're going to leave behind, and then think about something that you're going to hold close to you from this week. Something you're going to leave behind, and something you'll hold close from this past week. Let's reflect on that. May you do well in leaving behind whatever it is that you want to let go of. Perhaps it will disappear or be much less important after Shabbat, or at least you'll perhaps be in a more rested place to be able to take another look at it. And whatever it is that you're holding close to you that was wonderful this past week, may that guide you through Shabbat. May that be your source of blessing this Shabbat, and may that bring you joy that perhaps you can share with others. It is wonderful that we're here tonight, and I'm very, very happy to welcome our guest, Ermina Mustadanagic, who is the Executive Director of Wellspring Interfaith Social Services, who's at an agency that does a lot of amazing work here in Fort Wayne, and Ermina will be telling us about that. And we're going to be focusing tonight, a little later, on food insecurity in Fort Wayne as part of our Hot Topics series. So we'll have our time for prayer together, and then we'll have a little time for Kiddush and Motzi, and then right after that, we'll have some time for some learning. So I just kind of wanted to give you a map of what to expect tonight. Our service now will continue on page 4. Page 4. Let us read together at the bottom of the page. Actually, it starts in the middle. Our sages teach together. Our sages teach, wherever 10 Jews live, they must set up a building where they can come together to pray. Such a place is called a Beit Knesset, a house of assembly, a synagogue, and so we learn. Whenever 10 gather in prayer, the divine presence is among them. There is holiness in community, for in community we meet the Holy One. Hine ma tov, how good it is to be together, how good to gather as one people before our God, who cherishes the uniqueness of each soul. Hine ma tov, precious is the gift of community, blessed is the joy of gathering. Let us turn now to page 8. And let us sing together from the words of Psalm 27 in the middle of the page, Achat Sha'alti. Just one thing I have asked of God, only this do I seek, to dwell in God's presence all the days of my life, to behold the divine sweetness and beauty, and to gaze in delight at God's temple. Achat Sha'alti meid Adonai ota avakesh. Achat Sha'alti meid Adonai ota avakesh. Shivti b'veit Adonai kol yemei chayai. Lachazot ben Noam Adonai ulvaker behechalo. Lachazot ben Noam Adonai ulvaker behechalo. Now I'd like to invite Norm and Ronnie Greenberg to the candle bima, and they will light the candles and lead us in the candle lighting blessing, and you will find that on page 10.
Baruch אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Watch the candle.
Oh, don't want to light on fire. That'd be fun. We'll turn now to page 15. We'll join together at the top of the page in just 2 lines from Psalm 97, a psalm that, of course, we can recite any day of the year, but has particular importance and resonance to us as we approach the days of awe in just a couple of weeks. Or Zarua. Or Zarua la tzadik, u'yishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik, u'yishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik, u'yishrei lev simcha. We turn now to page 20. Let's join together in the singing of Shalom Alechem, the song of peace and of greeting and of welcome to the angels who, by tradition, come to be with us at the beginning of Shabbat and stay with us for the entire 25 hours, and then they leave at the end of Shabbat, and we're always so sad to see them go, but we know that they'll be coming again on the next Shabbat. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let us turn now to page 22, and we will join together in the joy of welcoming Shabbat as we welcome a beloved, a good friend, someone who we are very, very happy to see. We will sing the words of L'chadodi, and when we get to the 9th verse, we will rise and we will turn towards the open door and send our joy out into the world so that it can do some good. And there's a lot of good that needs to be done in the world. L'chadodi. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamichad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, Ki mekor habracha, Merosh mikeder menzucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, Hitoreri, Ki va'orech u'miori, Uri, shir daveri, Kavod Adonai alayich nigla, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha u'betzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela, L'echad odi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Take a moment to greet someone, maybe somebody you didn't arrive with. And let us be sure to turn and say hello to those who are joining us on live stream from all over the place. Indiana, Michigan, Virginia for sure, maybe some other places as well. And we'll stay standing as we're able. Turn to page 24. And we will join together in Chatzi Kaddish, page 24. And we will continue from Chatzi Kaddish immediately onto the next page for Baruch Hu, page 24. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, Yamad yivrach cherutei ve'yamlik malchutei, b'chayechon u'yom echon, u'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, u'vizman kariv, himeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, Le'alam u'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitnoram v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata tamiran be'alma v'yimeru amen. Yai la 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 yai la la yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. Let us turn to page 29, and we will say the blessing for the arrival of evening. We will use this interpretive reading on the bottom of page 29, and we will conclude with the blessing on the bottom of page 28 together. Holy is twilight, the realm of in-between, and so our sages taught, pray in the moments when light and darkness touch. We are all twilight people beyond categories and labels. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, widen our vision. Let it illumine our way to the God who transcends all boundaries and definitions. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim. We turn now to page 31. And we will begin on the bottom of page 31 with Open Up Our Eyes, and we will conclude with the blessing on page 30. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Israel. We turn to page 32. Please rise as you are able for Shema. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Let us turn the page. We continue. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitztavecha hayom alevavevcha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha beveitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha, ukshartam leot ayadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinecha, uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. We turn the page. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti echem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Let us turn now to page 40. And in a moment, we will sing together Micha Mocha in the middle of page 40. But before we do that, let us take a moment to just reflect on the opportunity that this prayer gives us every time we have to say it. Of course, we remember the story, right? This is the prayer that was recited by the Israelites as they set foot on the other side of the Red Sea after running for their lives from the Egyptians who pursued them across the sea. It was the moment where they at last realized that they were free. Let us take a moment and think of a moment that you have had in your life when you realized that you had arrived somewhere very important, a place, a time, a moment in your life, a moment where you realized that you had achieved something very special. Let us join together in Micha Mocha in the middle of page 40. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Malkutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam zeli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. I hope you remembered a special moment. Let us turn now to page 43. We'll read together the bottom of page 43, and then we'll say the blessing on the bottom of page 41 together. Only in you my soul finds quiet, my rescue comes from you. You, my rock, still point of the turning world, I hold fast and will not fall. Baruch atah Adonai, hapore sukat shalom aleinu, ve'akol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Let us turn now to page 48. In a moment, we will begin the Amidah, and we will pray together either the words on the page or the words around the other sides of the page or the words in your heart. But we'll begin on page 48, and we'll continue on the even pages through page 54. And then we will have some time for silent prayer and reflection. So now we will begin on page 48. Please rise as you are able. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agidei latecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Kol Mel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasei Avot V'imahot, U'mevigula Livnei Benehem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Now let us join together in a prayer for the state of Israel, which you'll find on the handout. Let us pray together. Sovereign of all the world, accept our plea on behalf of the state and people of Israel. Pour forth your blessing on the land and on all who call it home. May your laws of kindness guide its people, and may the teaching of your prophets live within their hearts and ours, only to do justice and to love goodness and to walk humbly with your God. Awaken your spirit in the Jewish people and the whole human family. Implant within us all patience and mutual respect. Uproot from our midst hatred, violence, coercion, and exploitation. We pray for strength of body and spirit to journey to the land and to be a true friend of the land and its people, a lover of Zion. May life there become Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, brothers and sisters dwelling together. And in every corner of the earth spread your shelter of peace over the house of Israel. Strengthen the will and stamina of Israel's soldiers. Fill with courage the hearts of those who shield the land. Let their spirits be resilient and their use of arms pure. Valiant in war, ever striving for peace, may they overcome all enemies as you guard them in the shadow of your wings. For this and this alone we pray, make peace in the land. May all its inhabitants be blessed, and may this vision of your prophet soon be achieved. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Amen. Now we will pray for those who are held captive. And as we pray for their safety and for their return, we are reminded of the vigil we have been holding since October 7th, 2023. The day following October 8th, we lit a candle in that window for the first time, and we have kept that candle lit each Shabbat since then. And we hope one day that the candle will not have to burn anymore because all of the captives will have returned home. Let us pray together. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rivka, Yaakov, Leah and Rachel, may he bless the captured and the many kidnapped citizens, men, women, and young children held in painful captivity in Gaza among them, along with all who are in captivity and distress. May it be your will, Adonai Tzevaot, God of hosts, to rescue and redeem these souls and return them swiftly to their families in the land of Israel. As it is written, thus said God, a cry is heard in Ramah, wailing, bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children. She refuses to be comforted for her children who are gone. Thus said God, restrain your voice from weeping, your eyes from shedding tears, for there is a reward for your labor, declares God. They shall return from the enemy's land. Let us turn now to page 74 in our prayer book. And let us pray for peace in the words of Oseh Shalom, which you'll find in the middle of the page. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'imru Amen. Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel. Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Amen. We turn now to page 77. And in a moment, we will join together in a Misha Barak for healing at the bottom of page 77. But first, I will read our community's Misha Barak list, those who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit, and those who are caregivers as well. And then I'll invite you to share the names of those you are praying for this Shabbat. Tonight we pray for the healing of Ruth Bloom, Adrienne Braitman, Andrew Bosell, Pircha Batbracha, Todd Craigo, Rabbi Mitchell Kornspan, Leslie Soltz, Arthur Simon, Bill Siegel, Maria Bargeron, Kaylin Nagel, Tom O'Neill, Debbie Charay, Jonathan Sowers, Jack Adler, Laura Michaels, Rabbi John Stein, Miriam Krause, Jeff Schulkin, Arnold Sanderson. And to these names we add for all these names and the names in our hearts, let us join together in a Misha Berach for healing. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Bekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm so pleased that our guests tonight are Mina Mustadanajic, the Executive Director of Wellspring Interfaith Social Services, is here to talk to us about food security here in Fort Wayne. I believe that we will learn that not being able to have enough money to purchase nutritious, high-quality food is a serious problem in America and a serious problem in our city and our region, and it is a problem that is often invisible. Hunger is not a contemporary problem only. Indeed, it has been a plague on human existence for as long as there have been people. Food insecurity was recognized as a serious issue in Torah. For example, in the book of Leviticus, we read, "When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap all the way to the edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. You shall not pick your vineyard bare, or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger." Leaving the gleanings, that is, the remnants of the harvest, was a way to provide people who did not have access to food, a way of preserving their dignity while also being able to collect food. After the harvest was completed, those who needed to would come to the fields and pick from the remaining crop to feed themselves and their families. It is a mitzvah, that is a commandment for farmers, which included a lot of people, to leave the gleanings for others. When I went to Israel in 2011, the synagogue group that I was traveling with, we had a morning working with a group called Leket, which is one of the major Israeli food bank programs. And we spent the morning picking up harvesting gleanings of tomatoes. And basically going through the fields. The machines had already gone through. Do machines pick tomatoes? Maybe that would be too hard on the tomatoes. But it was done. But there were still some tomatoes. in the fields and some that had been set aside. And so our job was to find all of the tomatoes that we could. There were some criteria to make sure that it was, suitable for eating. And we carefully picked those, and we put them into barrels, and they were taken immediately that day to food shelves, and we were told they would be available for people the following morning. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. So the next time you're in Israel, something to think about. Or if you know someone going to Israel, it's a wonderful volunteer opportunity and a way of living the mitzvah of actually picking up gleanings in the field in the land of Israel. Looking elsewhere in our tradition, on Yom Kippur, the day when we fast, we refrain from eating if we're able to do so safely, we read these words from the prophet Isaiah. Why, when we fasted, did you not see? When we starved our bodies, did you pay no heed? Because on your fast day, you see to your business and oppress your laborers. Do you call that a fast? A day when God is favorable? No, this is the fast I desire, to unlock fetters of wickedness and to untie the cords of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. It is to share your bread with the hungry and to take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, to clothe them and not to ignore your own kin. The prophet here demands that we must not fast only for our own spiritual edification, without also looking out for the poor and literally to feed them. In meeting our needs, we are also commanded to meet the most urgent needs of others. And looking much later in Jewish tradition, so we have the Torah, which has many, many, many commandments, and the first centuries following the completion of the Torah and later after the destruction of the temple, there was a lot of confusion on how do you actually follow these mitzvot. There was no legal code, which is a map, a way of knowing this is what you can do and this is what you can't do in a very clear way. Well, the solution to that problem emerged in the medieval era from the writing of a man named Rambam, also known as Maimonides, in a work called the Mishnah Torah. And it was a Jewish legal code. And in this legal code, we find these directions for a community. Every city, with even a few Jewish people, must appoint tzedakah collectors, charity collectors, people who are well known and trustworthy, who will go door to door each week before Shabbat and take from everyone what they are expected to give. And they distribute the money before each Shabbat and give to each poor person enough food for 7 days. Also, collectors, in addition to this door-to-door program, collectors are also appointed to travel through public places to gather the bread and foodstuffs and fruit and money from whoever volunteers it, and they distribute it in the evening among the poor, giving each poor person enough to get through the day. So we have, a formalized program of going door to door. Hello, it's me. I'm a known member of the community. You can trust me. It's Shabbat's coming again. We need your tzedakah, and people would give their tzedakah, and that was collected and centralized and given to people so that they would have food for the coming week. And then, in addition to that, in case anyone was missed, there were panhandlers going through the markets and going through other places, official panhandlers collecting money from people, and that was being given to people daily. We had a daily program and a weekly program, and this was the way that our tradition determined it was the way that we were to live out this commandment of making sure that we are caring for those who are unfortunate and specifically making sure that they have food. And out of all of this, Jewish tradition is clear, very, very clear on one point. We are to love our neighbors as ourselves. And this is not an emotional love, not at all, really. We aren't even obligated to like our neighbors as ourselves, only to love them. And to love our neighbor is to ensure a just community that provides for the ability for all to live together in dignity and with well-being. It is our Jewish obligation to do what we can do to combat food insecurity. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to invite Mimi Zellman to the Bima. She has some important announcements to share. We took out all the unimportant ones. Only the important ones are left for Mimi. Mm-hmm.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're glad to have you with us this evening, whether you're here or online. Please join us tomorrow morning for Shabbat services at 9:45 a.m., led by Ron Friedman. Rabbi Meir will give the Devar Torah. For those who plan to attend services next Saturday on September 28th, please contact the office for a traffic pass. The Fort for Fitness race will limit access to the temple. The high holidays are quickly approaching. Visit our website or check the bulletin for recent emails for the schedule of services and events. Please join us on Saturday, September 28th at 7:45 p.m. for Shlichot when we continue the centuries-old Jewish tradition of gathering in synagogue on Saturday evening near Rosh Hashanah to prepare for the sacred season of self-scrutiny and renewal. Please join us for Havdalah and help change the Torah covers to white. Please become a holiday sponsor with your donation of $54 or more. Today is the deadline to be included in the Rosh Hashanah announcement handout. Online donation is available on the temple website. Bakers are needed for the Rosh Hashanah reception on Wednesday, October 2nd. The Romeos are hosting the Break the Fast after Reform and Conservative services on Yom Kippur. Please RSVP by October 8th so the guys can plan. Our 22nd Corned Beef and Rye fundraiser returns on Thursday, November the 7th. Online ordering is now underway, or download and order from our website or pick up in the lobby. Information is coming by mail on how you can order meals, become a sponsor, and volunteer. Thanks for supporting the Temple's largest fundraiser. Please plan to join us when we mark the anniversary of the horrific attack on Israel by Hamas and pray for the return of the remaining hostages. We'll gather on Monday, October the 7th at 7 p.m. at the Temple to join in solidarity with people of Israel and Jewish communities around the world. The gathering is sponsored by the Temple and the Jewish Federation. Thank you to Rabbi Meir for a beautiful service, Ormina for being with us this evening, and to Wellspring for all it does for the community, Rena Black for coordinating our Hot Topics program, Richard for running the live streaming, Mike for ushering, Officer Joe and Zach for keeping us safe, Don for serving as our shamas, and please join us for Kiddush and Motzi after the service, as well as our Hot Topics program. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Mimi. So please do put October 7th, Monday, October 7th at 7 p.m. on your calendars. This is going to be a very important moment for our community as we come together to commemorate a year since that horrible morning that we watched unfold, not quite believing our eyes, and the nightmare of a year that has unfolded since. It'll be an opportunity for us to come together, not only to remember and to pray and to lament, but also to be a community in support of each other. So please do attend if you can, October 7th, Monday evening at 7 p.m. Let us turn now to page 78. We will join together in Aleinu. Please rise as you are able. We will begin on page 78, and then we will jump to the bottom of page 80. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. You may be seated. We turn now to page 86. Page 86. In a moment, we will recite together the mourner's Kaddish, as we have come to the time when we remember those who have died either recently or in this season in years past. I will read our community's Kaddish list and then invite you to share the names of those you are remembering. On this Shabbat, we continue the period of Shana, the death within the past year of Kathy Stoller, Ruth Ricky Goldstein, Doris Vogel, Lois Zemmel, Dennis Dan, Robert Hochberg, Gary Smythe, Nancy Mihalio, Chuck Raplain, Todd Sider, Rita Lewis, and Dan Bradley. And this Shabbat marks the yahrzeit, the anniversary of death of Lloyd Amster, Claudine Bartel, Minette Baum, Benjamin Becker, Joe Blumenthal, Rose Carol Brown, Joseph Crystal, Daniel, Yelena Drozdova, Jack I. Dubrov, Lottie Gutmacher, Israel Hatner, Frida Hyman, Isabel Caskell, Tolby Greenspan Keeps, Charles Leopold, Jacqueline Levin, Howard Levin, Raymond Levis, Becky Lickstein, Sidney Motel, Julius Nathan, William Pollock, Ronald Repka, Pearl Russ, Henry Schwartz, Francis Shine, David Spanger, Emmanuel Warschauer, and Felix Zweig. And to these names we add, for all these names, the names in our hearts, the names of those who perished in the Shoah, the names of those who have died in defense of the state of Israel, the names of those innocent civilians in Gaza and in all war zones who have died, and the names of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Let us please rise as a community to recite Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, on page 86. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'almad ivra cherotei ve'amlik malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomachon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, bagala ubizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitnoram v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu, ve'ela min kol birchata v'yisharata, tush bechata v'nechamata, tamiran be'elma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabbi min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. Let us turn now to page 89. And I'd like to invite Don Zellman to the bima, and we will continue our tradition of hearing the shofar each day during the month of Elul, the month that precedes Rosh Hashanah, the coming of the new year. And we will continue on page 91. And I'll invite Don, you can come on over here. You can bring your shofar over here so the microphone can catch it. Okay? So they hear it at home. I'm going to do a Tikiyah Shvarim Truach Tikiyah. Yeah, we'll say the blessing together, you two. Together, let us say the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, shomreat truah. Tekiah, shvarim truah. Tekiah, yashakoach. Thank you very much. That was something. Woo. Let us continue now on page 92. We're going to join together on the bottom of page 92. We're going to, because we need so much peace in the world, we're going to sing another prayer for peace. Od Yavo Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are here in the sanctuary, going to gather outside those doors in just a moment for Kiddush and Motzi. So those of you who are online and want to continue our learning in just a few minutes, don't go anywhere, or go somewhere for 10 minutes and come back. Stay connected. It's not like costing you by the minute. We don't have that anymore. So we'll have Kiddush and Motzi here, and then in 10 minutes, which will be at 8:44, we will continue with our hot topic Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. our Hot Topics Shabbat program, and I'm very, very very excited to be here. Actually, I should say at the outset, I am not Rena Black. I am Rena, who's organized this program, and normally would be your mistress of ceremonies and panel interviewer. A little under the weather tonight, and so I'm filling in for her. But very grateful for all the organization that she's put into making tonight possible. This Hot Topics program is brought to you by members of the Social Action Committee, which is chaired by Rena Black and includes John Stein, Donna Turco, Susie Miller, Steve Carr, Julie Dominguez, Dawn Hammond, Beth Zweig, and me. Food insecurity is a problem in many U.S. communities, including ours, and tonight's guest, Ermina Mustadanagic, works through Wellspring Interfaith Fellowship, actually as their executive director, to combat this problem. Ermina has been the chief executive officer at Wellspring since October 2022. She comes to Wellspring after a long and very productive tenure. I was looking on LinkedIn today. You did a lot of things at Matthew 25 Healthcare, bringing more than 15 years of service in the community impact sector. Ermina says Wellspring has an incredible mission, and I am passionate about making a difference in our community by helping neighbors in their most critical times of need. And so with that, Ermina has some things she'd like to talk to us about. There's going to be some slides for you to look at while you listen to Ermina, and then after that we'll have an opportunity for some Q&A. And so with that, I give you Ermina.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat.
I have learned 2 words today. My name is Ermina Mustadanagic, and I am deeply grateful and honored to be here with you this evening. So I have been in Fort Wayne. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've been living in Fort Wayne since '99. My family moved here after the big Yugoslavian war. So as a kid, I was in the war. We were not able to leave the country until after the war, which was pretty devastating for a 10-year-old. So living, when we arrived here, again, just very grateful for the community and how we were welcomed in Fort Wayne. And that's why I dedicated my career to the nonprofit world. Living through the war, I was sick, and there was no health care available. Also, I was hungry as a kid. I remember it. I was 10 years old. As a 10-year-old, you can remember a lot of things. And I wish I don't remember some of the things I saw. And that's why when I decided to lead in a nonprofit world, I wanted to serve in healthcare for some time. I was at Matthew 25 Clinic for 15 years. And then when the opportunity came at Wellspring, I took the opportunity because I'm able to serve in a different way. I'm able to provide food to those who need it, to so many children who are hungry in our community. And it's hard to believe that in Fort Wayne we do have so many families needing food. We also have many different programs which we're going to cover here shortly. Next slide, please. Wellspring services that we offer. Oh, maybe you go back one. Slide 2. There we go. The Wellspring services we offer, we have youth programs, which we have the after-school program and the summer day camp program, food pantry and Wellspring on Wheels, program for older and disabled adults, clothing shop, and then we do not charge for any services. So if somebody comes to us and needs help, we do offer service to them. We'll talk a little bit about a history. Wellspring began in 1968 by 5 congregations in our community. There were some pastors who saw there was a need of keeping the kids off the streets. It started as a summer day camp. There was a lot of kids living in a West Central neighborhood who had nothing to do during the day, right? And even today, if we think about it's summer, Kids are left home by themselves, so what are they going to do? They're going to leave the house and try to find something to do. So Wellspring was started. It started very small, but then it has grown to serve up to 500 kids at some point during the summer. The congregations that started Wellspring are still standing behind us, and I was just recently with one of the congregations. We needed a van. We were trying to expand the services for our kids in the after-school program, and all I needed to do is knock on their door, and they were able to help me. So it's so nice that they're still keeping in touch with us and still supporting our mission. And let's talk about our youth programs and what that all entails. So today we serve over 200 kids, and this is data from 2023. Actually, this year in our summer camp, we had 229 kids, and then in our after-school program, we have 73 kids now. So we are trying to expand services more and more. When the pandemic happened, a lot of kids were displaced from different programs, so it took some time for us to build it back up. We offer so many different activities for the kids when they're with us. The kids that come to us, they come from low-income families. We offer transportation for our kids. So we partner with 5 schools from Fort Wayne Community Schools. We pick up the kids, we bring them to us. The first hour is homework time, learning time with our volunteers who are so wonderful to Wellspring. They always have dinner, snacks, we have different activities, and then we take the kids home after the programming if parents are unable. This is huge for our community. We're keeping the parents at work, because if you think about the school ends 2:30, 3 o'clock, if the parents are working, they're not able to leave their jobs to attend to the kids. So if we get enough resources to be able to expand programming even more, we could get more kids in this program. Same thing with summer day camp program. That program is, we also offer transportation. We have a lot more kids, so we don't have enough of our own vans to transport them, but we partner with Fort Wayne Community Schools who provide transportation for us for summer camp. And then the next slide, we'll talk about the program for older and disabled adults. This program is offered at Wellspring 3 days a week. We do serve over 80 individuals in this program. So anybody 55 and over who is feeling that they need to get out of their homes and socialize, make some friends, they're welcome to come to Wellspring. Different activities we offer. We have karaoke, we have bingo, which are, those 2 activities are the favorites. And then we always offer lunch. Coffee is always available. And then when they come to us, they're with us for about 3 hours. Then a clothing shop. And our clothing shop is pretty large, so if you've never been at Wellspring's clothing shop, we invite you to come in for a tour. It is truly different than you would see in any other clothing bank. We call it a shop instead of a clothing bank. We want to make sure that people feel like they're shopping, they're not coming to a clothing bank. They even get a cart to take around to shop. And this is so important in so many ways. If you think about someone doesn't have a proper clothing to go to work, they're not able to go to work or not going to be able to secure a job or keep the job. And a recent story, I was walking to the office in the morning and a young mom stopped me in a parking lot and asked if our shop was open. And I said, it wasn't, but how can I help you? We usually do that. If somebody asks for a program and it's not open, we ask them, how can we help them? Because we're not going to turn them away if we're able to help them on the spot. And she told me a very sad story that the school actually referred her to come to us for clothing for her kids. She was not able to send her 2 boys to school because the clothing that they'd gotten from their neighbors no longer fits them. And she has no money to purchase clothing for her kids. The story touched me because I have 2 boys. And just thinking about if they didn't have clothing, to go to school, what are you doing if I didn't have any money to purchase it? We were able to open up the shop for her, and she was able to get couple outfits for her kids, and she was encouraged to come back again. Kids' clothing we're in such a need of kids' clothing because kids go through it so much. I tell my family all the time to leave the kids' clothing, to donate, and someone will tell me you don't want it because if a 9 or 10-year-old boys are wearing it, it's no good to donate. So. But on Amazon, we have a wish list that's we're always asking for different things for kids. We want to make sure kids in our community are taken care of. And our next program, it's a nutrition program. And this program it's part of the food bank. I actually started this program. People tell me, is it because I come from a healthcare field? Maybe. I'm not going to regret that. But so when I came, we would get, especially at this time of the year, we would get a lot of vegetables donated to us, a lot of different produce, and people are refusing to take it home. And I wasn't understanding why, but then talking to people, we learned that they don't know how to prepare it. They've never seen some of the vegetables. They don't know what to do with it, so they're not going to take it home. Well, we all know how important vegetables are and produce in general for your health. So I went to the Department of Health and I asked for a grant to hire a nutritionist, which I got the grant. We now have a nutritionist on staff who's working with our food bank clients, and clients that choose to be in the program are able to take home produce every week, enough for a whole week for the family. After I got the grant to hire a nutritionist, an individual donor came up and gave us $20,000 to purchase produce for a year. So that was very, very, very nice. I'm very proud of that program. I think it's needed. Not only does it teach parents, but then it teaches kids also the importance of eating healthy. Okay, Food Pantry and Wellspring on Wheels. This program it was started in 80s, actually, the Food Pantry, so we've been running it since 80s. We serve a lot of people in this program. If you can see, over 14,000 individuals served in 2023. I've been there only for 2 years, but I keep hearing that our food pantry really, really expanded during the pandemic and after. So we're serving a lot more families. We serve about 35 to 40 families every day. Our food bank is open 5 days a week and 1 Saturday a month. Per the records or per the data that we're collecting, 80% of those families have children in their households. And we, at Wellspring, we never pre-pack the food that goes out to our clients. We let them choose, which that's different from a lot of the food banks or food pantries in our community. When somebody comes in, they sit down one-on-one with one of our assistants or volunteers, and we tell them what we have available, and they're able to choose. Not everyone eats pork, not everyone eats beef, or some people just don't like, fish maybe. So we want to make sure people are choosing the items they're gonna use in their households, and it's important for us because we're not wasting food. Then it's also important for our clients because they're able to utilize all the food they're taking home. Okay, and then our Wellspring on Wheels, I do want to talk about that. That program started in 2019, just before the pandemic hit. We twice a week we pack our van, as you can see right there on that picture. That's how it's packed, and we take it out to our community. We take it to the areas in our community identified as food deserts. There was a study done some years ago with the St. Joseph Community Health Foundation. They have identified that there's food deserts in our community, so we will go out there. We do not change locations often because we want to make sure people are finding us. About usually once a year we change it, and then maybe there could be a location that we add on. But it could be a church where we park, it could be a bank, it could be an apartment complex. It depends who is allowing us to park in their parking lot so people can line up to get their food they need. And Food Pantry and Wellspring on Wheels will continue on this. So the most food at Wellspring is purchased. We do get a lot of donations. Every day people are dropping off food. We get bags of food. But with the partnership with Community Harvest Food Bank, a great partnership, we were able to get food for 19 cents a pound. If you think about that, if we go $25, we could probably get over 120, 130 pounds of food. That's a lot of food when you think about what can we buy at the grocery store with $25 today. So this partnership is very valuable to us. We are currently collecting food items for the holiday bags. Every year we do holiday bags for our clients. So those are some of the items listed there that we are collecting. We are thinking about contacting some congregations, and maybe each congregation can take one of the items from there and collect instead of collecting all of it. So we're probably going to do that because we need lots of items. As we said, we serve a lot of clients. We want to make sure that every family has a holiday meal. And this is by the numbers. So this tells us the total number of clients that Wellspring serves. Over 18,000 clients a year. That's a lot of people coming through our doors. Our staff is very small. We have 14 staff members. We do have lots of volunteers who are helping us, and we are so grateful for their time because without them, we were not going to be able to provide any of these services. We do hire extra staff for summer camp because there's a law out there in Indiana that you have to have so many kids per one staff member, so we hire about 30 staff members for 6 weeks for summer camp. And all of this is done with a budget of under $1 million. So as you can see, most of the money that's donated to us goes directly to the services. Of course, we do have to fundraise, and we have to have some administrative costs, but we really try to ask for in-kind donations of supplies, of food, of everything that we do, so we don't have to purchase it. But again, we do have to have a budget for purchases as well because we're not able to collect enough. And then now, we would like to show you a video that will kind of summarize everything I said this evening. So let's see if our video will play.
By saying Wellspring is awesome. So awesome. And for the next few minutes, we're going to explain to you why.
Wellspring has a lot of programs. Here's one of my favorites.
The after-school program is an opportunity for kids in our community to come in after school, have homework time, and a snack.
I like coming to after-school program because we get to meet new people.
They can build relationships with adults and then also learn how to interact with their peers as well.
They get a chance to run around and play. We have dinner, and then we do an evening activity. For kids, they get the opportunity to have positive role models in their personal lives and in the community. People who work here, that is what they are here for. They are here to invest in those children. And all of this is free to the community.
People of all ages benefit from Wellspring, from us kids all the way up to our older adult program.
I've been coming to Wellsprings about four years now, and just the people are just wonderful. Everybody has such a good attitude. It's a chance that I can be with other people my age and really commune with them.
I'm by myself. I live by myself, and I'm widowed. Been widowed about 21 years, and I like coming here because it gets me out of the house and keeps me active.
The programs is what that does is gets us all together. It's a lot of fun.
We play games, euchre and bingo.
They have an exercise program at least once a week.
I come for the sewing.
They have a program it's where the kids come in. I remember sitting at tables and they're talking their kid language, okay? And they include me right in just like one of the kids, and I really like that.
Now, I love to talk, but words just can't describe how impactful our food bank is to our community. So, we won't use words.
When clients come to Wellspring, they expect one thing and then experience something totally different.
The Wellspring shop provides clothing and a variety of household needs for people in need in our community. The real unique aspect of the Wellspring shop is the dignified boutique feel that the shop provides, and also offers volunteers which help customers find what they need and makes them feel special. It's for all ages and all kinds of clothing, so all people can find what they need here.
2 words, summer camp.
No, 3 words.
Oh, free summer camp.
The free summer camp is a camp that is for pre-K through high school. We're at different sites. We do about 2 hours of learning a day. Once a week we have a field trip, and then we do other activities like yoga, music, dance. So it's very beneficial to the parents because a lot of the parents work, so it's free, so they don't have to pay for any daycare. And then for the kids, they love it because they get to see their friends they hadn't seen in a while.
My favorite thing is about meeting different people because I like to have a lot of friends.
They can stick with their learning, like their reading and math, so when they go back, they can do better in school. And then at the end of the year, we all get together and we perform.
We walk from the churches in downtown to go to perform dance and music there in front of like our family. I really love Wellspring.
I would give up my day job to work here full-time. I absolutely love this place. I grew up in the program, I was a kid, and the staff really made an investment in me that I needed. I mean, I know I wouldn't have gone to college if I didn't have their support.
I'm so glad Wellspring is around for us kids.
I've been here at Wellspring since I've been 7 years old. It's benefited me as far as job-wise, being able to teach me how to interview for a job or what to wear to a job and things of that sort.
The staff is very friendly and they're very helpful, and it's a remarkable experience.
I really enjoy it, and I wouldn't ever want to give up Wellsprings because it's a big part of my life. It's a big part of my life.
Wellspring, empowering lives, fulfilling needs.
Thank you for watching the video. I hope it has summarized everything I said. Sometimes it's just better to show a video and to see it. So our next fundraiser is coming up. If we have any individuals who play pickleball or would like to learn to play pickleball, our pickleball party is going to be on October 27th. It is only $50 to play or to learn to play. We're going to have food and drinks and a lot of different activities and prizes to give away. It is going to be at Ace Pickleball Club, so you can register on our website. I'm also going to leave some small cards with Samara that will kind of explain and give you more details about the event. So, but at this time, I'll take any questions if you have.
So before we start thinking about your questions, and Samara will help us get a microphone, we can all hear each other, but we want to make sure that those of us who are still online can hear your questions at home. But I just wanted to just observe what an amazing range of services that Wellspring offers. And I've had the privilege a couple of different times to visit, had some meetings there, I've gotten some tours, and the clothing shop is really special, and it's exactly like was described in the video. It presents the clothing in a way that's very like any other store that you would see. That's really impressive. And something else I wanted to mention, there was a fundraiser program over the summer, and you had a member of your board speak, a man, young-ish man, and one thing that really impressed me was that he told his story of why he serves Wellspring. But he was a client of Wellspring, if I remember his story correctly, in a youth program, and so here now, decades later, he serves on the board of the organization that made a difference in his life. Wellspring is that kind of organization that makes an impact on people and has been a part of this community it is woven deeply into the fabric of Fort Wayne, and it's just amazing work that your organization does.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We actually have 2 board members who have grown up in our youth programs, and they're serving our mission. I like having them there because they do have the deep history of Wellspring, and they have a great heart to serve.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And so now we'd love to hear any questions you have about Wellspring. So one right down here in the very front with Don. Hold on. Microphone's coming.
Is there a need for volunteers? And if there are, what are some of the things that volunteers would do for you?
Yeah, so we have volunteer opportunities in every of these departments that we've talked about. Also, if you don't want to be on your feet and you just want to kind of sit down and answer the phone, we do have a need at the front desk for somebody just to be answering the phones and answering the door. Those who came to Wellspring, we do keep our doors locked because we do have kids inside, so somebody has to man the door all the time. So we do have a button that you just press and let people in, but it does require somebody to sit there.
Every time I've walked into the building, whoever's sitting there, and I never know who's a volunteer, who's staff, right? But they're always smiling. They're very, very happy to see people, and they make it a very, very welcoming first impression.
Yeah, we want to make sure we're welcoming for our guests, but also our clients. When our clients come to us, they are in need, and a lot of times they're embarrassed to come in and ask for help. They want to make sure that they're very comfortable when they're with us.
I like the idea that you teach people how to cook or prepare foods that they're not familiar with. What does that process look like? Do you have stoves there or cooking utensils? Does the nutritionist show them what to do? How does that actually work, please?
Yeah, so we actually have a full kitchen at Wellspring. So all of the participants, when they sign up, the first class is usually on education. She talks to them about the importance of eating the fruits and vegetables, what vegetable does what. We all know they all have their benefits. And then the cooking classes are offered there. We just finished our first cooking class with over 50-some participants, and it was very successful. Because they were all able to do different things. We have one stove. It does have 12 burners, but then not everybody's able to stay at the stove. So some participants were cutting the vegetables, some were washing the vegetables, some were cooking, and they were all able to enjoy the food afterwards. You're welcome.
That was I was really excited to see that new program, and it's a really good adjunct to the work you're already doing. And I was thinking that there are people who may have access to some food and they may be able to buy some food, but there are parts where it's hard to get good nutritious food in the stores that are convenient. Like produce is often hard to come by, I think, in some neighborhood shops where folks live. And you also mentioned food deserts. And I noticed something recently. I frequently drive through Arcola. to get to where I'm going. And I noticed, I don't know, a few months ago, I noticed a Wellspring on Wheels sign. And when you mentioned that you go out to different areas, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then you said you go to food desert areas, and I think that I think some people might be surprised to imagine. I wouldn't exactly call it a suburban area, but it is outside of the core city. And I don't know that people necessarily think of areas like that being food deserts. Can you talk a little bit about the areas that you serve, like in the mobile program?
Yeah, so Arcola is one of the areas we serve. So when we think about area like that, we're like, okay, farmers, they grow their food, but they can't grow everything, and farmers need help. They need food as well. So there's a United Methodist Church up there in Arcola, and they requested our service. They're actually sending us funding to be in their parking lot to be able to provide food for the residents of Arcola. One of the other sites is Autumn Ridge. It's by Autumn Ridge Apartments, and it has a huge Burmese population. And St. Joseph Community Health Foundation is very passionate about immigrants, and so they really support us in that way. We actually, when we pack a van for that site, we have to be very mindful of what kind of food we're taking with us. They eat a lot of fish and a lot of chicken. If you take beef and if you take, especially if you take pork, they're not going to take it. So we pack a lot of rice, a lot of beans, things that they have requested from us that we take. So when our volunteers are packing, they are trained to pack our vans, so we know what we're taking out.
Fantastic. Are there any other questions? Here we go.
Yes, your store looks very well put together. It doesn't feel people like they're at a true thrift store. It's like they're at a regular retail store. About how many volunteers and people do you have to make it like that?
We have one staff member who is 15 hours a week dedicated to the shop. And then we have 20-some volunteers who rotate their time. We have one volunteer from Trinity English Church who is there every time we're open. She's there. She treats it as like a part-time job for herself. So, but yeah, any of our programs would not be able to operate if we didn't have the volunteers. They're in everything we do, for sure.
And as you mentioned, Don asked, your programs require volunteers to, 14 employees? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, 14 year-round employees. 14
year-round employees. So it really takes members of the community to be able to make your programs actually happen. And there are so many opportunities to volunteer with Wellspring.
And one of the volunteer opportunities that just came up is we have Panera Bread donating baked goods to us 2 days a week. And then we have Rise and Roll also donating baked goods to us. So we need drivers to pick up the food. So and we do have a van, so we just need the driver. This time is any of us are picking up. I pick it up on the way to work. Somebody else picks it up. It's really hard, but they donate a lot to us, and we want that food to go to our clients. We don't want it to be thrown away. So we are doing everything we can to pick up the food. Also for our kids, we can use drivers to drive the kids. We do have our vans available, and we have 5 schools, Fort Wayne Community Schools, and the schools that we serve are not that far, about 4 miles a radius, so it's not that far from Wellspring.
Great. So lots of ways to get involved. So one way that we can each get involved in supporting the work of Wellspring, and then also doing our jobs to make the world a better place, that is that during these High Holy Days, as we do every year, we'll have an opportunity, each of us, to be able to help Wellspring's food programs in one of 2 ways. You can fill a grocery bag with food items, and there will be a list of things that we're recommending, and there's information about that in the High Holy Days materials that have been emailed out. But that is one way to get involved, would be to fill a grocery bag with food and bring it to the temple before or on Yom Kippur. And another way to also support, you saw the equation there. Wellspring is able to purchase food items for its food bank program at 19 cents a pound. Have you picked up a bag of flour? Right? So, of course, it is absolutely necessary and important to be able to donate food items directly, but it is also possible to support Wellspring in being able to stretch their dollars even farther than we're able to as individuals. And so financial donations are always welcome, and we're asking folks to also think about that during this high holy day period. So this is a way that we can get involved. It is something that we do each and every year. Wellspring is an organization that the Temple has been connected with for a very long time. Leonard Massbaum, a member of the Temple, is currently serving on the board, and it's a very important organization to us and something that is really, really important for us to support. So you'll have an opportunity to do that during the high holy days. So I'll check in somewhere. Is there any other questions? Here we go.
You have people who are working with children, and I'm sure you're very cognizant of their children's safety. What sort of protocols do you have for checking out the people who wind up volunteering with the children? Because I know you've got liability issues there. So could you describe what somebody might have to go through in order to be able to work with children?
Thank you for that question. Yes, the safety of the kids is very important. So everybody has to go through a background check. Actually, every volunteer that comes to Wellspring has to go through a background check because it could happen that you're in a building where the kids are there. I want to make sure the kids are safe. So if you're a volunteer at Wellspring, you will go through a background check. We'll schedule a site where you're going to go get fingerprinted, and then also the police department checks you out. So
that's really, really important. Everyone needs to be kept safe. And I think, given the hour, we're going to draw our program to a close. First, I want to thank Romina for giving of your time to come here and talk to us and get to know us, and for us to get a chance to get to know you, and to let us know about how Wellspring not only is a huge part of the safety net to help alleviate food insecurity, but also providing all sorts of very, very needed services for folks in our community. So thank you for letting us know about that. Thank you very much. And I also want to thank Samara Sheree, Lily Noga, and Timmy Oberly for all the work that they did to make tonight happen. Also, thank you to Richard, who we can't see, but we know he's back there, who is letting us sound good and let us stream. So thank you for all that. But thank you again to Ermina. Let us give her a round of applause to show our gratitude. Thank you so much, and Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and good night.
Shabbat Shalom.